Hello, Stephanie. Right now, you are my crowd. Here we go. We're getting ready to begin. Thank you guys for dropping by. All right. It is time to begin. My name is Alonzo Bowden. Thank you guys for dropping into the soapbox. As you know, this is the place to rant, rave, bitch, and moan, or even compliment. On rare occasion, things go well enough that we actually can talk about how good something is. So if you want to do that, you are absolutely welcome to. As a matter of fact, I may throw in a compliment or two this week because we need it. So my first issue. I don't know how many of you, if any, are homeowners and have had to deal with contractors and getting work done on your house. But man, let me tell you, a friend of mine and I were talking about this. There are two businesses where, that old saying, the customer's always right. They need to switch it to the customer, we don't care. And that is car sale and contractors. I don't know what it is about that business. I don't know if well, I sold cars briefly, and I'll tell you this: when it comes to selling cars, if you think they screw the customers, you should see how they try to screw each other. It is a just cutthroat, commission only business. There are no rules, and it's better now than when I did it, but it is still not good. But I want to start with talking about contractors. I did this joke a long time ago. I said, contractors operate on a different calendar than the rest of us. When a contractor says 3 days, they didn't mean 3 days in a row. They meant like, yeah, we'll work on it one day in January, we'll get you another day in March, and then maybe on one day in May. And while it may not be completely that bad, it is annoying. But I have another annoyance. So the first thing is finding a contractor because it seems whoever worked, you try to get referrals. I ask friends. I've had two friends who've had this work done, major work done in their house. I asked both of them for their contractor's info. I contacted both of their contractors. One of them contacted me once before ghosting me. The other has ghosted me completely. So I went to Home Advisor, which, if you don't know, Home Advisor is this website. You put in what you want done, and then contractors contact you, and you try to set up, estimates and bids and so on. So I go to Home Advisor, I sign up, I put it in. Well, I quickly found out Home Advisor was bought by Angie's List, which is now called Angie, and you can only contact through the app. And once you put that out there, let me tell you something. I have never received this many phone calls and texts from people, and you can't shut it off. There is literally no way on the website to say, I don't want any more bids. People have been calling for days. Now, this is how this works. They're very interested now. Once the work actually starts, you probably won't hear from them too often. And I have enough people having called me. This has been going on for 4 days. There have been at least, I'm not exaggerating, at least 50 calls. Some companies, two, three, four, and five times calling me. And that's just their telemarketers. That's not the contracting company. It's telemarketers trying to get the job. It is very annoying, and it makes me not want to use this service at all. So that is the first problem. The second problem is obviously, and this is true of anybody who works on a house, it's like getting your cable guy or your internet guy or whatever. If they say between 11 and 4, just pick the time when you have to do something. So if they say between 11 and 4, you got something to do between 2 and 2:15, that's when they're coming. Otherwise, they show up at 3:55 and have you have waited all day long. So it is a I'm going to call it a comical annoyance. And the reason I call it a comical annoyance is because they all operate that way. They all operate that. I don't know if it's something they're taught in the school for contracting. There's a place I pass, it's a contractor school. And I was like, when they give the license test, I wonder if they say, okay, we're going to give the test 8 a.m. on Saturday. And then you show up at 8 a.m. on Saturday and they're like, we moved it to 3 p.m. Monday because we want so right from the start, we're going to show you, you never show up when you promise to show up. You never do what you say you're going to do. Don't spoil these people. They're customers. You get their money, you take your time. It just seems to be the way that business operates. So we'll see. We'll see what happens and how this goes. That has been my annoyance this week, getting this kind of work done. And the funny thing about this, I'm redoing a bathroom. It was actually scheduled to be done back in 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic when you weren't supposed to let anyone, no one can come in your house. And now I so wish I had let people come in the house and do this bathroom so it would have been done by now. So that's one thing going on. Another thing going on, and again, I don't know how much you guys deal with this. One of my favorite sayings is no good deed goes unpunished. And unfortunately, I just find that to be true over and over, particularly when asked to do a favor and you say yes, and then people start, I don't know, asking more, changing parameters, this or that, the other. This one example I'll give you, this big jazz festival every summer at the Hollywood Bowl. And having worked with the people who run this thing, I get an early opportunity to buy tickets. So I told my friends, I say, hey, if you want tickets, and we do this every year, by the way, this is not new. I say, if you want tickets, let me know how many tickets, let me know what day, and I will put in the order. We'll buy the tickets, we'll hang out. So 10 guys, they want 10 seats for Saturday. Like, okay, put in 10 Saturday. I'm going Sunday. Then one guy, I'd rather go Sunday. Can I switch mine? And then the other, oh, well, if they switch, I'm switch. So now, thankfully, the woman who connects me with these tickets is really nice. But it's like, okay, so we're all going to ask to switch our seats. And I said, listen, the next switch, I just switch friends. I don't switch tickets anymore. Now I switch friends. So if you come back, and again, it's just, okay, no good deed goes unpunished. This is what happens when you offer to do a favor or when someone asks you to do something. I listen, I get asked to do a lot of things. I've been told I need to say no more often, charity gigs and stuff like that. I try to accommodate people, but you'd be amazed at how difficult they make it or how much more they ask once you say yes, once you try to help them. I just wish people would do what they said and stick to the original agreement. Because once you say yes, now they make it a pain in the ass. If you say no or if something changes, now you're the asshole. See, now you're the problem. So I'm seeing the applause here. Maybe I'm not the only person who have done this. The bigger annoyance is simply how about either do what you say or tell people when you can't. As soon as you know you can't do something that you said you were going to do, as soon as the parameters change, let the person know. How's that? Especially if they're doing you a favor. I try to do that. I know you people here at the Soapbox, I know you wouldn't screw people over. You wouldn't waste people's time. So I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking to you. Um, okay, compliment. I'm going to tell you, listen, anyone who knows me knows I love jazz. I love music. I love the creativity of it. I don't know if you've heard of this kid, Mono Neon. He's a bass player. He was Prince's last bass player when Prince, right before Prince passed away. He's a child prodigy. So I have a friend named Marcus Miller, who's a brilliant bass player, composer, been in the music game for 40 years. Incredible. And he said he met this kid when this kid was only 14. And now this kid, Mono Neon, has developed an entire persona and a whole thing. And this kid is fantastic. He's just fun. I think so far, my favorite song by Mono is "I'm a Raggedy Bitch, but My Heart is Amazing." Just based on the title. How do you not listen to that song? How do you not love that song? So that's my compliment, Mono Neon and music, man. Live music is back, and I get to go enjoy it. Residency Marcus had at the Blue Note, a jazz club in New York. But whatever music you listen to, wherever you go, maybe you can go listen to it live. I don't know if any of you guys were at Coachella. I wasn't. I was actually driving to LA from Phoenix on that Sunday, and my whole goal was to get past Coachella before the Coachella traffic hit. Yeah, because I'm old and I ain't messing around with Coachella traffic. And but whatever it is, live music is back. That's good. Spring is in the air in most places. Although I do have a friend who lived and he showed all the snow. I don't know if that's a bad weather or just Jesus doesn't like Nikki Haley. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with B on that one. So that's it. That is my opening of the soapbox this week. Rant, and compliment. It is you guys' soapbox. Feel free to jump in, step up, speak your piece. Let us know what's going on. It can be a big issue, a small issue. You'll always be welcome here. How you doing, Chris? I'm going to invite you to. You're muted for some reason. I'm inviting you to video. Have you muted yourself? I don't think I muted you.
Yo, what's up?
Ah, there you go. How you
So
doing, Chris?
good. We're on the streets of San Francisco.
Now, I notice you are masked up. Is that a choice or a regulation, or are you working on a completely different job, so now you're wearing a mask?
Now it's a choice. I have respiratory issues,
Okay,
and so even before COVID,
cool,
yeah.
cool. Okay, just curious. So go ahead, man. Fire away. What's going on?
Okay, here's my rant. I got a letter today from Covered California, right? And it said, number one, my application had been received. My first rant is this: I didn't apply to them. I've got coverage somewhere else.
Okay, and to the listeners, Covered California is a healthcare plan that was created as part of Obamacare. So just so you know what he's
So
talking
that's rant number one. I didn't apply, but I got a letter from them. Then I opened a second letter, and it said that according to their records and my application, which I didn't send in, I make 24 cents a year.
Is that enough to get you free health insurance? You might want to take them up on this.
No, it's not. Here's rant number three, my final rant. It said because I make 24 cents a year, or and they put it in writing, 2 cents a month, I don't qualify.
Making too much money.
I don't make enough money, they said. What?
But isn't Covered California supposed to be the insurance, like the safety net for people who can't afford health insurance? It's subsidized or something like that. Isn't that how that works?
I think it's the safety net for people to have jobs to fill out erroneous forms and send them out to us. I don't know what it's for. Anyway, that's
Well,
my
Chris,
three rants in a row. Number one, I didn't apply. Number two, I'm turned down. Number three, I make 24 cents a year, evidently.
well, Chris, when you can tell us how you're living in San Francisco, the most expensive city in the country, on 24 cents a year, you're on to something, my friend.
I need to start a master class.
Thanks for dropping in. Good luck with Covered California. Health is one of those things that do we understand it? No, we're all just I'm not going to use the word victims. We're part of the system. And my thing with health insurance, I've been saying this since day one. If you want to fix health insurance, give Congress the same insurance that we have. Let them deal with the same nonsense we deal with. Take away their gold-plated health insurance and watch how fast the health insurance industry is cleaned up and fixed. Thanks for dropping in, Chris. Wendy, welcome to the Soapbox. I'm going to invite you to video. Whether or not you use it is entirely up to you. You
Okay, probably not. See, nope, I'm not because I'm not in my spot. But thank you. Hey, thanks for bringing me up. Yes, first I want to talk real quickly about Chris's letters. Um, in the state of California, Cover California is basically kind of the portal, right? It's the entity that everybody kind of goes through in order to get their reduction or whatever it is in their healthcare. You choose your healthcare provider. You choose Kaiser or you choose Blue Cross or you choose whatever. You can do that through the portal. But that's just so your income is what determines kind of what you're paying through those insurance companies. So it's not really a healthcare plan. It's just, yeah, from Obamacare, and it's the portal of the state of California. They want to make sure that you do have some type of coverage. And I only know this because I go through all this stuff myself. So the letter that I think, Chris, you got, basically it said that you don't qualify for Cover California, but you do qualify for Medi-Cal, right? And so because you don't have that income, you do qualify for insurance, but I believe it's Medi-Cal, right? And you're covered for dental, you're covered for all sorts of things. So there is coverage. I just wanted to say that and make that clear. Maybe that's my rant.
I think his point is there's a bureaucratic error because he makes more than 24 cents a year, and whatever they're sending him is based like he has coverage through his work or whatever. So I think he's just talking about the bureaucracy and, the error somebody made.
Yes, definitely, because my husband always gets the same letter made out to me from Cover California because I'm on Medicare. So as soon as I turned 65 and I went on Medicare. So that's a whole different dynamic of your health care, and all that stuff. But Cover California knows that I'm on Medicare, but my husband isn't 65. So they keep sending him things, right, that are to me. So anyway, yeah, it's a bureaucratic mess. But I think all in all, it really helps people. So I guess that's my rant.
All right. Well, thank you. And thanks for helping to clarify that. When it comes to junk mail, I'll tell you the funniest thing I get in junk mail. For some reason, I get junk mail addressed to my brother and sister-in-law. They live in Greenwich, Connecticut. Don't know why it comes to their name, my house. Do not know how that mailing list thing worked, but I do get it. So, Stephanie, welcome to the Soapbox. Let me, as soon as we can, here we go. You're invited to video. Whether or not you use it is up to you. And yeah, fire
Hey,
away.
Alonzo. So I have the perfect rant for you because this is actually what you do. Are we reaching a point in America now where comedians aren't going to be allowed to be funny anymore? Like what is happening? I'm just curious from your perspective because I am ranting a little bit. I think on the one hand, we do need to acknowledge the systemic BS in this country that has marginalized so many people. I get all of that, and I'm an advocate, and I am definitely an ally, not self-professed. I've been named as such, which is great. But my point is, are we actually at a place now? Because I'm watching multiple comedians now, and I know people say canceled. I think we also have a little consequence happening in this culture, which I'm fine with, by the way. But comedy should be its own, right? Can't comedy be an art form? Can't comedy be recognized as an art form? Are we not at a point anymore? I mean, South Park was famous for saying, "Oh, we're going to go there, but we're going to go there with all of you. Like we're going to offend absolutely everybody." And I felt like they kind of got away with it. I don't know if it's because they were a cartoon, and how are you going to really apprehend Cartman? He's not a thing. But how? Where are we going?
Wow. You, is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, no, I want to respond, but I wanted to hear all
Yeah.
of your thing before responding. So for one thing, I'm gonna do a little self promotion. If you listen to my podcast this week, Who's Paying Attention? I have Eric Griffin on. Eric's a great comic and a great friend, and we spent some time talking about this. Eric has some great views and takes on this. I will tell you from a friend who works in animation about South Park and Cartman and stuff.
Oh, how
You're right.
funny.
She said the reason you animate a show is because animated characters can do things that humans can't. Like, for example, in the Simpsons, right? When Homer chokes Bart, you can in live TV, you can't have a father choking a
You
son,
can't. That's
right?
all. Yeah.
But on a cartoon, it's okay. And I mean, it goes back to when I was a kid. Let me tell you the stuff, the violence we saw. And on The Simpsons, they do it with Itchy and Scratchy, right? So the thing about South Park, yeah, one of the reasons that it is animated and it is so funny is because these are cartoon kids doing and saying these things, not real kids. So that's great. Stephanie, the comedy isn't in as much trouble as they publicize. We still say what we want to say, especially at live shows in the club. You anything goes, and what Eric and I talked about, and this is something that's interesting to me, is a lot of comics now seem to be going into this. I'm going to do self therapy on stage, and they forget to be funny. And with some people, it can work because they are interesting and they deep. They have something to say. Then others, it's kind of like, okay, this is self indulgent. Give us some funny, you know. But as far as the outside influences, and I love you saying it's an art form because here's the thing: we know it's an art form, but we never call ourselves artists. This is something else that Eric and I talked about, and it goes with the Oscars, And Eric has a great take on the Oscars, and he's like, "Look, if you can't take a joke, don't invite comedians. Just don't invite us because we can't help. You invite Chris Rock, you know who he is, you know what he does, and then you get upset because he makes a joke. Well, guess what? That's what he does." Comedians, we know it's an art form. The difference between us and actors, if you walked into a comedy green room and said, "I'm an artist," we would destroy you. We don't take our seriously.
That's so true.
We know others don't respect what we do. We do it anyway. We will always criticize society. We will always be the pin to prick the balloon.
Yeah.
There are times when they're mad. And, I saw a comic. I've been talking about this guy since I saw him because I loved his act. His name is Alex English. He's in New York. He's a black gay comic, and he made fun of gay people. He made fun of the rainbow flag. He made fun. And it was really funny because he's like, we're allowed to be wrong. We're allowed to be screwed up. Like, people are afraid to call out any group, right? But you don't get a pass just because you're a member of that group. You can make fun of others, and obviously, it's always the less powerful making fun of the more,
Right.
not as opposed to bullying. But if you're in this group, or if there's something funny about this group, or if you're just annoyed, like in his case, he's kind of annoyed by the special treatment gays get. He's like, we're not new anymore. We're gay. We're here. We're around. Stop treating it. And that is true. There's certain, it's a great take. It's a great point of view. So Stephanie, don't worry. We ain't going anywhere. We're going to keep doing it. People are going to be upset about it. They're going to complain.
Right.
The TV and big media like that is going to regulate us more. That's why it's always best to see comics live because that's when
Yeah.
we're the most free. When we're live, we can
Yeah.
say what we want to say and be who we're going to be. And so, yeah, thank you, Stephanie. But don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think you are either. I was just curious. Alonzo, thanks for having me. I'll put myself back in the audience. Have a great rest of your show. Thanks.
Have a great day. Great rant, by the way. Great question. But yeah, we ain't going anywhere. All right. How's everybody else doing? Nice to see you guys here. Leah, I hope I said that right. Welcome, Leah. I will offer you to video. It is up to you.
Good afternoon. How is everybody? How are you, Alonzo?
I am doing okay. As I said at the beginning of the show, I don't know if you were here. I'm between contractors right now. So I'm as good as I can be in dealing with them.
I heard the first part of that. Yeah, home advisors. I got suckered into it too. I'm about to kill my traveling roommate. I, I just dropped her off at the hotel and I had to move on. I'm about to kill her. I don't understand
Leah,
two
can I give
things.
you some advice? Never plan a murder publicly.
That's why I'm wearing the sunglasses. You can't see my real face. Okay, so I'm trying to understand the concept of sharing a bathroom and doing what you have to do in the bathroom because we're all humans, but not understanding that you need to put the lid back down on the toilet so that the aromas do not permeate throughout the hotel room. And she keeps doing it. And I want to say something, but I feel like if I say it, it's going to be rude. Then I take my time to take her to a restaurant today, and she complained about every single thing. Oh, my stomach's bubbling. It must be the food. No, heifer, it's the 7 mixed drinks you had last night that's got your stomach bubbling. I really want to just leave her here in LA, head back to the Bay Area, and say, oops, I forgot you were in my car. I want to kill her.
Wow.
I,
Uh,
ah,
I'm sorry for laughing. I'm just thinking this is the hard way to learn about, traveling with somebody. And the reason I laugh, and again, I'm not laughing at you, but I work on these cruises. And on occasion, people will go on a cruise together. Now, think of the magnification of what you're going through of being in a small cruise cabin together for 7 days.
mm-mm.
And there was one guy on a ship, and we called him Hal. Okay. The reason we called him Hal is the cruise line was Holland America Line. And his wife got mad at him and threw all of his clothes overboard. So he had to go to the ship store and buy clothes. So everything he had the HAL logo on it, hence the name Hal.
Oh my gosh.
So Leah, you can't kill her. What about some strong hints like, a can of air freshener in the bathroom or spraying, as she comes out? I don't know.
Or a,
But this
or an
goes back
enema,
to Leah,
something, but she needs to work that out.
this goes back to what I was saying about no good deed goes unpunished. It is unfortunate, but
Oh my gosh.
you are experiencing that right now, and I feel for you. I wish you the best. I wish I had a solution for you. Do not kill her. Don't kill her
Well,
because
hopefully everyone in the podcast will, or in the room will be my alibis. You guys see me in my car, so just be my alibi. I just need y'all to cover for me, please.
I don't know how this technology works, but I suspect this show is being recorded. That's why I said you never plan it publicly. You can't do it,
Darn.
Leah. It's been recorded. This, this is like Alexa. They know what you're up to. So
Oh
no,
my
now
gosh.
you have to hope nothing happens to her while she's in LA.
Okay, well then I'm gonna go and get some Febreze from the local store and wish for the best or the rest of the trip.
We wish you the best. Hey, here's an idea, Leah. Outdoor activities. Huh? Outdoor activities. Only eat on a patio and yeah, just
Oh my gosh. Y'all pray for me. Okay, thanks for the time. You guys have fun. Have a great week.
thank you. Thanks for dropping in. Good luck with your trip and sorry. you're dealing with this. All right, Juan is on the soapbox. What's
I have
going
no
on, Juan?
idea how to get back on.
Hello. Wait, can you hear me? Did I turn
Yeah,
my mic? Hello.
yeah, we can hear and see you.
Uh,
Okay, you just whatever you just did, you killed your own sound.
Say
We
what?
could hear you until you did something, and now we can't.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can. You're low, but we can hear you.
Like,
Okay, you sound like you're on a cell phone in a tunnel on a mountain.
maybe I should talk louder. Can you
There
hear me?
you go. Right there, we can hear you. Whatever you just did, we can hear you right now.
I have some words of wisdom from this book. It right here on this page. Dance like no one sees you. Sing like no one hears you. Don't have a roommate. I think that a guy I think we've all heard of. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But that's all. Just wanted to plug the book. Let me think.
That is the famous eating salad drunk.
Oh yes, yes. So you're familiar with that book? I think I heard it on somebody's podcast.
Not only am I familiar with that book, I happen to have a haiku in there.
That was
For those who are leaning in, Eating Salad Drunk is a compilation of haikus done by comics on a million different topics. Very funny, available on Amazon, and with advice about roommates. Now, here's a problem, Juan. This advice is coming too late for Leah. Leah's in the problem. So telling her don't have a roommate now doesn't do her any good. That was advice for last week. We got to come up with a solution for today.
I think the problem is that you don't realize the wisdom of advice until it's too late. So is what it is.
That is quite often the case. Unfortunately, I'm just trying to advise Leah, don't kill. Don't kill.
Well, let's say I don't know. It depends on what state she's in. I know that some states are very what's the word? Lenient with vehicular homicide, but probably not California. You have to come to like a free state, like somewhere in the South. I think somewhere there's places where if you run someone over with your car, somehow you could totally get away with it because it's not murder. But or even better, someone you don't know and does not know your roommate. Let's say your roommate, she goes out clubbing, she gets hit by a car, it was a hit and run, there you go. But I don't know how prevalent license plate cameras are in your locality. So that might not murder is not as easy as it used to be. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. And just for legal purposes, I'm going to say that was the voice of Juan Boyce. And Alonzo Bowden in no way encourages murdering people on his soapbox show. All right. Just so you know where that came from. Just in case, Juan, just in case accidents happen, I ain't going down based on your advice.
No. This has nothing to do with me. I'm not saying you do that. I'm saying that license plates Well, I live somewhere where license plates cameras are very, very prevalent. So I would never kill anybody in my car. I've had zero accidents. But you know what? If a self-driving car happens to kill somebody, there you go. That's the answer. Self-driving car.
Hey,
Right?
hey, Juan, my legal advice would be stop now.
I'm sure there's something in this book available on Amazon. Eating Salad Drunk. It's good for you.
Hilarious book. Thank you, buddy. All right.
I don't. Do I hang up or do you hang up?
Yeah, you hang up. You hang. I could, but you could do it.
I think I have to
I
hit.
don't want to cut you off because I never know when people are done, so I don't cut them off. Let them cut themselves off. But thank you for your rant and quote advice. I don't know. Interesting. You did bring that up. There's a case here in L.A. 17-year-old rich kid. His parents gave him a Lamborghini because they thought that was a good idea. And unfortunately, he crashed into and killed somebody, and they had the civil judgment today of $18 million. That's the most ever paid in a case like this. But that 18 million is nothing compared to the loss of life of the to the family of the woman who got killed. Sad, but you know, maybe it'll stop the next rich parent from giving a 17-year-old kid a Lamborghini. Let him learn to drive first. Fabish, hello. You are now invited to video if you want.
Can you hear me?
Are you there? If
Yeah.
you're talking, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. So I'm gonna just make this short, actually. And my rant today is has to do with sports. I don't know if you're like a huge fan of sports, but if you are, I wonder if it's ever made you like clearly like depressed. Because for me, I think that's the case. I am a huge fan of soccer and I love Manchester United. Um, and it has been a downward, like a downhill spiral, like for the last 2 years. And it's getting crazy, We have brought like in like the best player ever, like Cristiano Ronaldo, and like we bought like a team of the best. And in my mind, I was like, if you get the best, you'll be the best. But it turns out that's not how it works. So we we have like this, team, a full team of like 10/10 stars, and we are shipping in goals, man. And it's just crazy because I think it's so sad because every other place, I'm a huge Atlanta Hawks fan, and that we were also knocked out. So it seems like just sports is not it's not good for me this time. Today is my birthday, and I was watching the game, and we're losing. So with me, mine is about sports, and I'm like, whew, every team I support these days are like getting really beat so bad. So I know you can't change anything about that, but it's just frustrating. Especially when you invest a lot into it.
Well, thank you, Fabish. And yeah, I'm a big sports fan. Listen, you want to talk about disappointment? I'm a Clippers fan. All right. If you know anything about the NBA, you know the Clipper jinx is alive. No matter what team, their best player will get injured. People's knees have exploded for no apparent reason, whatever. It's a frustration. And there's an old saying in as far as putting together the best teams, they're like, well, this is why we play the games. Again, and Ronaldo, I was just reading about him. He just bought $1 million watch to match his $3 million Bugatti car. So he's doing okay. You might not be doing all right. Ronaldo seems to be doing okay. uh, when it comes to team sports, no one player, even the greatest players, even LeBron, can't guarantee a championship every year. When he was at his peak, he's getting older now, but that's why the saying is that's why they play the games, because teams that should win on paper don't necessarily win. That's happening all over the NBA. The Nets, who have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, two of the best players in the league, swept right in the first round. It happens all the time. And I imagine it happens in soccer, or as you guys call it, football. Also, the best doesn't always win. That's why they play the games. So I wish you luck. And come on, heartbreak is part of the fun in sports. You can always say, better luck next year. We'll get them next time. So good luck. And Chris is giving a thumbs up because he's in San Francisco, home of the Golden State Warriors, who at
Yeah, it's
times
fine.
have
Yeah,
been
no
the
problem.
best, but even they've been beaten. They've been beaten. So it's how it goes. Listen. It's fun to watch. Yell at the TV. Don't yell at the TV. Laugh, cry, whatever it takes. Sports take our minds off the real world. some people say sports and politics are the same thing. Nah, athletes are better than politicians. Pretty much anyone's better than politicians. Even are better than politicians.
All right, have a good one.
So, I'm sorry. I heard a voice. Well, Fabish, good luck. You know, yeah, the Hawks. That was a rough series for the Hawks. Something about Atlanta. Atlanta can't win. Atlanta had the Super Bowl one going into the third quarter and just fell apart. Something about that city. I don't know what it is. All right. Anyone else on the soapbox this week? Next week there'll be a soapbox next week. I'm traveling, but I will be at my destination next weekend. I'm going to be at Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. But as I remember with my travels, I will be there in time to open up the soapbox. So we'll do the soapbox again next week, next Thursday, according to schedule. I don't know what happened last week. I don't know if I didn't schedule it or no one showed up, but it was a weird week last week. That'll be my rant. No one coming to the soapbox to rant. No, we will be back next week. Now is the time, last call for ranting and raving. If you are in LA this week and you like comedy, because that came up, this is the week. There's a comedy thing going on called Netflix is a Joke. Now, I unfortunately am not part of it. I haven't had a Netflix special. They repeated one of my early ones years ago, but I'm not really a Netflix guy. But they are doing shows all around the city, and there are comics in the city, from new comics making their debut to Dave Chappelle at the Hollywood Bowl. So if you are in LA and you like comedy, this is a good week to be here. Go out and get a part of it. I'm actually heading up to Portland. There's a big motorcycle event I'm part of up there. And then I have a jazz show on Saturday. So I'm going to be busy. But if you want to laugh, Netflix is a joke. LA, this is a funny weekend. All right. You guys have a great week. We'll get back on the soapbox same time next week. I'm sure between now and then I will find something to complain about. All right.